Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television is sponsored by Potash Corp of White Springs. Potash Corp, helping nature provide.
Hello everyone and welcome to Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. I'm Mike McKee and my guests on the program are Jackie Sulick, the founder of the Alligator Lake Spring Festival and the producer of the festival, as well as Jerry Walls. He is one of the vendors who is going to be showing some interesting things on the weekend of April 8th at Lake Alligator Park. We'll talk to them about this year's fresh new things to see and do. We'll do that when we come back. Don't go away.
Your day starts before your feet touch the floor. You listen and encourage, plan and schedule, and work hard for the ones you love. You inspire creativity, help with homework, and somehow still find time to do your own. You are an example every day, investing in her future and yours. Florida Gateway College. Start here, go anywhere.
Welcome back to Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Jackie Sulick is the producer of the 8th annual Alligator Lake Spring Festival. This is a festival celebrating nature here in North Florida, and Jerry Walls is the owner of Amazing Animals, and he is one of the vendors who you can look forward to seeing on April 8th at Lake Alligator Park. Welcome, Jackie. You've been a whole year since we did this.
Yeah, it seems like old home week. How many years have we been doing this?
We've been doing it quite a while.
Yes.
Maybe not all 8 years, but this festival has been around, and you've been really gracious to come on and tell us a little bit about what's going on. And number one, it doesn't cost anything.
That's right.
And that's the most important thing. Talk about the festival itself. It's kind of grown into something that it wasn't the same thing it was 8 years ago.
That's for sure. In fact, people call us now and say, when's the festival going to be? And thank you for having us. So the festival was started to highlight the headwaters of the Ichetucknee and a site on the Great Florida Birding Trail. And what it's really grown into is a community event that celebrates nature. It's free. We try to do something fun and different every single year. And this year, aside from Jerry's critters that you're going to be able to see, we are going to bring a bald eagle, a live bald eagle named Paige from the Audubon Center for Birds of Prey, and she is our eagle ambassador. We're going to have a talk, and you're going to be able to see Paige, take pictures of her. It's going to be really cool. We're also having somebody back that we haven't had in a couple of years, Mark Minnow, and Mark is actually the author of 3 books on butterflies. He's going to be doing a couple butterfly walks. We'll be doing our bird walk starting at 8 o'clock. If you want to come on a bird walk and you don't have binoculars, you can reserve your binoculars. We'll have just all kinds of things. Music, we have a DJ, we have food, we have educational events, and we have vendors. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You mentioned kind of celebrate the nature and the headwaters of the Ichetucknee River. I think a lot of people understand that the headwaters originates at Alligator Lake.
That's right. We have the spring shed, the big spring shed, which all the water in the spring shed goes down into the ancient river, which comes out in the springs of the Ichetucknee River. So very, very important. And what we put on the ground up here and how we treat the surface of the earth and the water here affects what happens there. And we all know how important the Ichetucknee is to the economy of our area.
You know, I think a lot of people take for granted what they see out there, and especially butterflies. You see them every once in a while, and you don't really pay much attention to them. But this bird or the butterfly walk that you're going to do, you're going to actually be able to identify the different species because they're all different.
Right. And the thing that's really, really fascinating about Mark is that he knows everything about the butterfly from the egg stage. He can go under an oak tree and mess around in a leaf litter and find butterfly eggs and find caterpillars. And many of the butterflies are so small that you wouldn't, unless you're looking for them, you wouldn't see them. And they're absolutely beautiful. So people just love him. And he's like a kid in the woods. So he's a great person to go out and field with.
He's at UF, correct? Or?
No, actually, Mark he works for the Water Management District.
Okay,
now,
I knew he was
out in Live Oak. Yeah.
So, and we had him on the show. We had a couple owls last year that were here on the show, and
this year
we've got something. We have Jerry, Jackie in a green box. So I'm kind of interested. When you first came in here, I saw, does he really have what he says he has in there? What do you have in there? Well, first of all, let's introduce you. You have a company called Amazing Animals.
Yes, sir.
Describe what that is.
We go to schools, we provide interactive programs. We have about 25 different topics from reptiles, amphibians, birds. If it grows, flies, or swims, or moves, we have a program. And we're trying to educate people of all ages about the wonders of nature. And this area, Columbia County, Suwannee County, north and north central Florida, I always liken it like if you live next to Disney World, you never go. You take it for granted. And here, there's so many beautiful things to get out and see. It's just amazing what's out here. And we try to get people to understand more about their wild neighbors and respect them. And education is understanding and vice versa.
Now, you also probably dispel myths about the critters. And, you know, we have a pond in front of our building here on the Florida Gateway College campus. And everybody freaks out when there's a baby gator in there, you know, because they normally move wherever they want to go. And, I guess the thing is, if you leave them alone, you don't really have much to worry about.
That's the most astute comment you can make. We've actually are moving into their area. These animals were here years ago, and unfortunately, they're disappearing too. So, if you stay away and respect and understand things, if you don't get close, you're not going to get bit. And you know, people get bit because they get too close. If you'll just leave things alone and appreciate them for their part in the food chain, everything is here for a reason. Just like alligators, and I've got a snake.
Now you keep pointing to the green box and you say alligators. Can we open up the box and see just exactly?
Yeah, is your last will and testament updated?
I am a gator, so he and I will probably get along pretty well. Okay.
Well, I had to fold him in half, so he's probably not very. I'm just teasing. He's probably not very happy. First of all, we're not going to bring out the alligator. We're going to bring out something that's got a very bad reputation, undeservedly so.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, how beautiful.
This is a eastern king snake, the type of king snakes that are found in this area. Unfortunately, they are disappearing. People, you know, the old saying, the only good snake is a dead snake. Well, you have to understand, there's a lot of benefits to snakes. Number one, they eat rats. Number two cause of buildings burning down are rats chewing on wires. So this will eliminate fires. Also, the plague got here, disease gets here via rodents. These eat rodents.
Can we get a close up, because this is a beautiful,
snake.
Now,
I see Jackie inching away. She's doing the caterpillar on me.
Let me ask you. The markings on this are not even close to a rattlesnake.
No.
But are they confused? Are the king snakes confused?
Well,
if you could hold it up and
there are only 6 different venomous snakes in this part of Florida. And there are about 48 total species of snakes in Florida. So only 6 out of the 48 are venomous, all right? So if you learn the 6, you're pretty much set.
Are people going to be able to touch the snake?
Yes, absolutely.
Can they pick it up, Amy?
They can touch the end with no teeth.
Okay. Let me ask you, now this is very docile.
Yes, and normally are. King snakes are.
They're very, very docile.
Right. Now these,
I don't see it
opening
the mouth or anything. Or.
The good thing about the king snake is they eat venomous snakes. They'll eat rattlesnakes, copperheads, so they are immune to pit viper venom. Not coral snake venom, because that is an elapid venom. You want to touch it?
Yeah.
They're not slimy.
Oh,
Well, you know,
that
and
is cool.
my little brother used to collect snakes, black racers.
Right, right.
And you know, I see
buddy.
whenever somebody sees a snake, first thing they want to do is even a black racer, which
Right.
is a good kind of snake to
That's
have
a good
around
rodent
because
eater,
they will keep your area free of rodents
Right.
and other
Right.
pests. But,
Right, right.
But that's a beautiful snake. Now,
Yeah.
now this is indigenous to our
Yes,
area.
Yes. This is the color phase you would get here. They're disappearing. They're disappearing, which is not a good sign, because that means that their prey items, something's wrong. Pesticides. There's a lot of things going on in our environment that we really shouldn't be very proud of, but these are disappearing. Used to be very common, very rare now.
So I suppose what's interesting too is if you learn to identify the snakes, then you know what ones you should stay away
That
from
is-
and
that
ones
is
you get
right.
closer
Well,
to. So
and
being
again,
able
the
to,
key is not to go and grab it.
Correct.
Just
Right.
let it go. It's like I've seen rat snakes on campus here.
Right.
Pretty snakes.
Right.
They can get really big.
The gray
Yes.
rats, right.
But, you know, let it go.
Yeah,
Let it
I
do-
mean, they're here for a reason, just like you are, just like we are.
Right.
You know, and people, if you leave them alone, everything stays in balance.
Now, does this one have a name?
Oh, the kids, when I go to the schools and the camps, he's probably got about 100 names. And I can't think the last one. Child called him Apple, the last one. Why he called him Apple, I have no idea. He's not
Now,
red.
What do you feed this?
This eats rodents. I humanely buy rodents already dispatched, frozen.
Does
Mouse-
he eat a lot?
Oh, he loves a good mouseicle. Yeah.
Mouseicle.
Yeah. No, he's on a 2-week schedule. He eats every 2 weeks. So they don't eat every day. Reptiles, their metabolism is so much slower than ours is.
Now, does this one slow down in the wintertime?
Yes, good question. Yes, yes. He's just now coming out. I kept him about 60 degrees, November, December, January, and brought him out about 2 weeks ago, and he's back up in the 70s. So he's just now getting back into spring.
What do they do now? I don't want to spend the whole show talking about snakes and stuff. but
Right.
When it's wintertime, where do they go? Do they go underground?
Right.
and
They go underground. They thermoregulate. They'll go in tree stumps. They'll go underground. They find pieces of tin, pieces of metal. And on a nice warm day, sometimes in January, you'll see a rat snake out crawling around. But spring is the start of the season. So.
nice.
So that's very.
He's
and again,
beautiful.
this,
Look
this
at him.
time
Pretty.
you probably have a
Beautiful.
couple of these on display.
I'll have more than this on display.
So
at the
that people
festival.
can go and identify what they're looking at, and you can tell them, well, this is what it eats.
They'll be labeled. They'll be in cages, but probably on the hour, I'll take one out every hour, every half hour, and let people interact safely with it.
You're going to be very popular, especially with the kids.
Oh, the kids love it, and that's what I do it for. It's the education aspect.
When again, if you could convince a child that is not a venomous snake, and you
Right.
should leave it alone, then you've done
That's
done
right.
what you.
Yeah. And if you influence one person in a positive fashion during that festival, it's all worth it.
That's good. Well, he's going to get a lot of publicity because he's been on quite a bit. In fact, he's got more face time than I have today. But can we see what else you got down
sure.
there, Jerry? This is very interesting. This is the first time we've
Is this
ever.
the first time we've had a snake on the show?
Well, we had a snake in the studio one day.
Oh,
Unintentionally.
unexpectedly, huh?
Yeah, and he was. I don't know whether he was trying to get in or whether he was trying to get out, but he was trying to.
So the other thing is that we will have some hawks. They're live hawks. We'll have the live eagle. We're having another gopher tortoise. So Jerry's going to fill in with a lot of things. But
Yeah, we'll probably have 7 or 8 different reptiles
But-
of different sorts.
But we will have, as you've seen in the past, we always have quite a few animals. And oh, wow.
Okay.
Now I am going to move over a little bit.
Wow.
It's that tail.
Now you don't have
That's-
any tape over his mouth,
No,
but you've done
He's done this before.
this before.
I've done this before.
This is not your first rodeo.
Not my first one. Not
Now,
my first
How
one.
old is this?
This one is about going on 3 years old. They grow about a foot a year. This is an American alligator, a juvenile. And now this one does have a name. This one got named Stormy because she was dropped off at a nature center in Texas on a stormy night in a bucket with no note, no anything. And I had a permit to have them, and I do have my Florida permit with FWC. You get inspected every year. They're not pets. I want to make sure people understand that.
Do people get them maybe for pets, thinking that they can manage it?
You need 1,000 hours of training in Florida to have a permit to have one.
Well, you know, this is the size of the critter that was in our pond.
Yeah,
And people are afraid of it.
Well, but my thing is, this thing is not going to attack, and maybe I'm wrong, this is not going to attack something bigger than itself.
She just called Mama.
I heard it.
Wow.
I heard it.
Yes.
I bet those teeth are razor sharp, aren't they?
There's about 80 teeth in there, 80. And we have 32, they have 80. And it's like a shark. If they lose a tooth, another one is growing right where the old one was. But this one is, Mama lays about 50 eggs. Oh, she's trying to call Mama. And they do stay with the mother for a couple years. It's called a pod. And Mama protects them. And then in about the 3rd year, they go off on their own.
This is so cool to
Yeah,
see this. I mean, she's very calm.
Well, they're wild animals. And really, you know, she's not a pet. She's educational ambassador.
And I think it's really important to understand that you need permits. So
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
you're
Can
heavily...
you turn her a little bit?
And insurance.
Turn it a little bit?
Jerry, can you
Which
turn her
way?
just a little bit? Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
And insurance and everything else, huh?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so people who are tempted to pick up wild animals
Please
and
don't.
keep them.
It's not good for you. It's
the
not
worst thing you
good
can
for the
do.
animal.
Yeah.
And you have to respect them.
Do you
but-
realize the irony of being on this set right now? Did you notice what's behind you?
Is there an alligator behind me?
No, but
It's a cypress swamp.
it's a
Cypress swamp. I saw
and there's
that,
water-
yeah,
and there's
yeah.
water here, so
Yeah,
it's like the
yeah.
first time. But that is a cool thing, and so you'll let people pet. I mean,
They can touch this end,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is probably not...
and that's where their strength is. Their motor is they're strong all over, and they're amazing. Their brain is like the size of a walnut. It's right here, and they have 3 eyelids on each eye, and they close them when they get upset, as you can see. And then she'll open. Anyway, she'll open them eventually.
So how old is she?
She's about 3. She's about 3, but they're very smart. Even though they have a very small brain, my big one, which I don't have here, he's in South Carolina. He learned his name in 2 weeks. He learned to come when I made a noise for his food. They're amazingly smart, amazingly smart. And they've been on Earth for about 100 million years, so they actually are true living dinosaurs.
They're pretty quick too, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, I've heard so many people say, oh, they can run up to 30 miles an hour. I think they can, for a short burst, I know they can hit up to about 20 for a short burst, but they tire out, then they flatten out.
Now this is you've got a couple of these that are going to be
I've
on
got
display?
one in Florida and one in South Carolina.
Yeah. So there'll be one at the festival.
This
and
one
then
will
you'll
be at
have
the festival.
all kinds of other things.
Yes, I'll have other snakes, other turtles.
So you'll
tortoises.
be able to, people will be able to get pictures taken.
Oh,
with,
absolutely.
with the alligator
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
That is so cool
Yeah.
to see an alligator this close with, you know, at one time we had a festival out here, then we had the Indians from, I think they're Creek Indians from South Florida. They would do alligator wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And they would, you know, they all would have tape around it until it was time to do the show.
Right.
And one day, I heard the security guard on the radio said, there's a huge gator. One of them had gotten out of his pen
Oh, Jiminy
and
Christmas.
was heading for
Yeah,
the creek
yeah,
over by the library. But
Well, wasn't Lake City initially called Alligator,
Alligator
Town?
Town, yes, it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah, and you know, the seminal word for alligator is allipatta.
and there's a brewery now called Halpatter.
Really?
Brewery.
Oh, okay.
So we can call this guy Lake City.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
That's true.
Well, this is really a
Yeah.
cool experience.
And
So-
just, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
You know, just realize that this isn't a puppy, this isn't a cat, it's not a kitten. You know, I don't sleep with it at night. Yeah, I see these things on the internet where, you know, people try to put them in their bathtub and tame them down. That's not fair to the animal. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to. Leave them alone, please. You know, I don't have an ego trip on having an alligator. I respect them, and I try to teach others to do the same thing because they're here for a reason. They're here
So
for a reason.
your advice to someone is if they see an alligator, leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't, now, Game Commission will come and they will relocate a gator, correct?
Yes.
They will.
Well, depending on the size, depending on the alligator, but yes, they normally will. And here again, as we build out more from the inner city and out, South Florida's gotten terrible. They're on golf courses. I mean, they're everywhere because we are encroaching into their habitat.
Right.
So
Now, this one will also hibernate, or
in the winter, she I have not sexed it yet, and I'm not going to do it on this show.
That's
might be some kids watching, but anyway, yes, she slows down. She'll go December, January. She'll hardly eat at all, and then when she's coming out now, she just ate about 2 weeks ago.
Now, what do you feed?
She eats mice, unfrozen, rats, fish, chicken, and she doesn't have a problem eating. Yeah. And they grow, like I think
No, they are carnivorous.
Oh, yes. You won't see it at the salad bar. Yeah. And they grow about a foot a year till they get to be about 6 feet. And then they can breed at about 6 feet. And they always grow, but they slow up after they reach about 6 feet.
Wow. Again, this is...
It's a dinosaur.
Not just because I am a gator, but I used to see one up close like this, as calm as it is, and to be able to, what a great opportunity for kids
yeah.
and families to come
Right.
out and see this, get a picture taken, and learn a little bit about the animal.
Yep.
Stormy can wave. Come on out to the festival. Please, come on.
But anyway, that's great. You can put, if you...
Oh, no.
I don't know how you...
This goes home with you.
No, I was going to say, would you like me to hold her while you put her back in the thing?
Here, hold the back end.
Oh, yeah. That's very, very nice.
I know some of the camera crew here is itching to hold it.
I think Lucas is Lucas is a big gator. So anyway, this is just part of what you'll see at the Alligator Spring Festival at Alligator Lake Park. Now, Jackie, there may be people here that, and I like to always remind people where this is. How do you get to Lake Alligator Park?
It is, well, I go to Google.
Well, it's off Old Country Club Road.
It is off Old Country Club Road, and you want to make sure you go to the east side of the park because that's where the entrance is. And it's right there. You go into the park, and it's right. We use the pavilion there. That's where our DJ is, and the food, and all the little booths are set up around there. So.
You got a photography. Carrie's been.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie's been itching to run some photographs that we've got. So let's take a look at these, and if you would describe what we're seeing. This is Paige the...
This is Paige the Eagle. We were going to have Trouble come, and she's on the poster, but Trouble got into a little bit of trouble. So, and this is the handler. This is Sean Lee. She's going to be coming from the Center for Birds of Prey.
Now, people don't realize there are eagles around here.
Oh,
Yeah.
at Alligator Lake, nesting.
And there may be a chance to see. You got native plants?
Yeah, we will have native plants again, talking about plants for birds and the kinds of things you want to put in your yard in order to bring in butterflies and birds. This is from this was last year. No, this is our red-tailed hawk.
Red-tail.
Yeah, this is coming from the Florida Wildlife Care Center down in Gainesville. Then we have a great blue heron, many great blue herons. So if you go on one of our bird walks, you certainly will see one of those, and you might even see a bird watcher or a hunter, somebody. We do have bird walks at 8 o'clock and at 10 o'clock for kids. And then, that's me. We get featured at the beginning of every month. We have a walk at Alligator Lake, so we know what's happening there. Again, you can get all kinds of information on plants, where to put what. Native plants are what bring the critters into your yard, so that's an important thing. Here we have one of the great horned owls, again from the Florida Wild Care Center. We're never sure what she's going to bring. So it's always a surprise. This is the owl lady from last year, Nan. She's got the little screech owl there.
And the one that scared me to death, I'll never forget the look it gave me when it was sitting here on the studio, and then it started making that noise, and I thought,
There's an eagle. This actually could be one of the eagles there. We do have at least one nest, if not, we possibly have 2 nests there at Alligator Lake. And the fledglings should be getting ready to fledge. So
Now, you mentioned to me before we came on the air about reserving binoculars.
Yes, we have.
They go fast, so unless you want to bring your own.
Yes, and you have the phone number
Yeah,
there?
it's 466-1293. And if you'd like more information on any of what we talked about, fourriversaudubon.org is the website to get more information.
Right.
And expecting good weather for
Absolutely.
Saturday, and we hope that you come out and take advantage. There's all the information you need. The FourRiversAudubon.org, and the telephone number again is 466-2193 to reserve a pair of binoculars for the Wild Bird Walk, which is taking place at 8 and
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock is, we're going to have a kids walk and an adults walk.
All right, don't forget, you need to go see Stormy and Jerry and ask all the questions you can. And please take seriously wildlife and don't, oh, I saw the top of the thing come up and he actually may want to go for a walk. She may want to go for a walk later on. But wish you best of success with this again, and thank you for doing this for the 8th year at Lake Alligator Park. And nice meeting you as well.
Thank you for having us
and
today.
good luck with you and your
Thank you.
potential pet rescue and maybe or wildlife rescue.
Right.
And maybe we come back on and you talk a little bit about
Anytime,
what you're
anytime.
doing and how you need to raise money to
Thank
to
you
make
for
that-
what you do,
make
too.
that
Thank
happen.
you.
And thank you for watching Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Again, go to Lake Alligator Spring Festival on the 8th of April and go see nature. And until next time, I'm Mike McKee. Good night.